Have you ever been in a situation where someone was just relentlessly attacking you with words? Maybe it was a colleague, a family member, or even a complete stranger online. They're throwing insults, questioning your character, just trying to get a rise out of you. What do you do? Your first instinct, like most people, is probably to defend yourself, right? To fight, like to prove them wrong, to protect your honor. But what if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do in that moment is to do nothing at all? What if the ultimate act of strength is to simply not defend yourself? This might sound crazy. It might sound counterintuitive, but stick with me. Because today we're going to explore a profound story that could completely change how you handle conflict and negativity. This story comes from a small, quiet village, nestled somewhere far away. In this village lived a wise old Zen master. He wasn't famous for any grand miracles or displays of power. Instead, his reputation was built on something much more subtle, yet far more impressive: his unshakable calm. No matter what happened, no matter the chaos or the crisis, the master remained a center of peace. His wisdom was like a deep, still lake, reflecting the sky without a single ripple. One day, a young warrior strode into the village. This warrior was the complete opposite of the Zen master. He was arrogant, brash, and full of himself. He had built his reputation on being the best, on defeating every opponent he faced. He'd heard tales of this so-called wise master and his legendary composure, and he saw it as a challenge. He thought, this old man's calm is just a facade. I'll be the one to break him. So, filled with ego and a desire to provoke, the warrior marched to the master's humble dwelling. He found the old master sitting peacefully under a large tree, simply observing the world around him. The warrior stood before him, puffed out his chest, and began his verbal assault. He started with insults, calling the master a fraud, a coward, an old fool. He mocked the master's teachings, calling them worthless nonsense for the weak. He dredged up every nasty, hateful word he could think of, spitting them out like venom. He criticized the master's appearance, his peaceful demeanor, everything. His goal was simple: to get a reaction. He wanted to see anger, frustration, anything to prove the master was just like everyone else. But the Zen master did something completely unexpected. He did nothing. He just sat there, his expression as serene as ever. He didn't flinch. He didn't frown. He simply looked at the young warrior with a calm, gentle gaze. It was as if the warrior's words were just stones being thrown into an infinite ocean. They simply disappeared without a trace. The master's silence was more powerful than any comeback could have been. The warrior was dumbfounded. He escalated his attacks, his voice growing louder, his insults more vicious. He paced back and forth, trying every trick he knew to provoke a response. He was a professional agitator, but he had finally met his match. The master's silence was like a wall, and the warrior's angry words just bounced right off it. Eventually, the young man was exhausted. He had used up all his energy, all his anger, all his hate, and had gotten absolutely nothing in return. Defeated not by a sword, but by silence, the warrior turned and stormed away, his own frustration and anger trailing behind him like a dark cloud. The master's disciples, who had been watching from a distance, were completely bewildered. They had seen their beloved teacher subjected to this vile abuse, and they were burning with indignation on his behalf. As soon as the warrior was gone, they rushed to the master's side. One of them, unable to contain his confusion, asked, "Master, why? Why did you just sit there and take that? Why didn't you defend yourself? You could have easily put him in his place with your wisdom. Why did you let him insult you like that?" The old master, who hadn't moved a muscle, slowly turned his head and gave his disciples a gentle smile. His eyes twinkled with a profound understanding. He didn't give them a complicated philosophical lecture. Instead, he asked them a simple question. "If someone comes to you and offers you a gift," he said, "and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The disciples paused. They looked at each other, the question hanging in the air. It was a simple riddle, but its implications were slowly dawning on them. After a moment of quiet contemplation, one of the disciples finally answered, his voice soft with realization. "It belongs to the one who offered it." "Exactly," the master replied, his smile widening. "And the very same is true of anger, of insults, and of hatred. If they are offered to you and you do not accept them, They remain with the person who offers them. They have no power over you unless you take them. In that moment, a wave of understanding washed over the disciples. It was a revelation. They finally saw the true nature of the master's strength. It wasn't about winning a verbal sparring match or proving someone wrong. It wasn't about having the cleverest comeback. His strength was internal. It was the power to choose what he allowed into his own mind and heart. The warrior had come bearing a gift of anger and negativity, but the master had simply refused to accept it. And so, the warrior was forced to leave with the very same toxic gift he had tried to give away. This story teaches us one of the most important lessons in life. You are the gatekeeper of your own mind. Other people can say what they want. They can throw insults, criticism, and negativity your way all day long. But those things only have power over you if you accept them. Think about it. When someone insults you and you get angry and defensive, what have you done? You've accepted their gift. You've allowed their negativity to enter your space, to disrupt your peace, to control your emotional state. You've essentially let them win. You've let them dictate how you feel. But when you choose not to accept it, when you remain calm and centered like the Zen master, you retain all the power. Their words become meaningless noise. Their anger remains their own problem, not yours. You are not a passive victim in this exchange. You are an active participant making a conscious choice. The choice is to not engage, to not take the bait. This doesn't mean you're weak or that you're letting people walk all over you. On the contrary, it demonstrates incredible strength. It takes immense self-control and emotional mastery to not react when you're being provoked. It's easy to lash out. It's easy to get sucked into the drama and the anger. The hard path, the path of true power, is the path of non-reaction. It's the path of mastering yourself. So how can we apply this in our modern lives? We get gifts of negativity all the time, especially online. Anonymous comments, social media arguments, road rage incidents. The principle is the same. Someone leaves a nasty comment on your post. You have a choice. You can accept their gift of anger by firing back a nasty comment of your own, getting into a pointless argument that will only ruin your day. Or you can refuse the gift. You can ignore it, delete it, or even respond with kindness, which often confuses the giver even more. You refuse to let their negativity become your negativity. Think of your inner peace as a fortress. Every time you get defensive or angry in response to an insult, you're opening the gates and letting the enemy in. But when you stay calm, you keep the gates locked. You are safe and secure inside your own peace of mind, no matter what chaos is happening outside. The real battle isn't with the other person. The real battle is with your own impulse to react. True power, as the Zen master showed his disciples, is not about defending yourself against others. It's about mastering yourself. It's about realizing that no one can make you feel inferior, angry, or upset without your consent. You hold the key. You decide whether to accept the gift of negativity or to let it remain with the sender. So the next time someone tries to hand you that ugly gift of anger or insult, just smile to yourself, refuse to accept it, and walk away with your peace intact. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. And for more content that helps you build a stronger, more peaceful mind, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.